You are nobody. That's the first thing you need to understand. You don't have a title, you don't have a rank, and you certainly don't have a name that anyone important knows yet. You are a Giovanni Donoro, an associate, which is just a polite way of saying you are useful but disposable. You run errands. You deliver packages without asking what's inside. You stand on a corner in the cold collecting numbers for a bookie who barely remembers your face. The men above you call you a friend of mine when they introduce you to others, which sounds warm until you realize what it means. It means you are not one of them. Not yet. Maybe never. Your day starts before sunrise and ends when someone tells you it ends. You pick up food, you drive cars, you collect debts from men who are bigger than you and meaner than you, which means every knock on a door is a small gamble. You make money, but not the kind of money that changes your life. You make the kind of money that keeps you coming back. You see the lifestyle around you, the suits, the restaurants, the way a made man walks into a room, and the whole room shifts, and you want it so badly you can taste it. But wanting is dangerous. Hunger makes men stupid. So you keep your mouth shut. You do the work, and you wait. If you survive long enough, if you earn enough and keep quiet enough, and if God and the right captain are both in a good mood, someone eventually vouches for you. You get called in. You sit across from men who have known each other for decades. Men who have done things you have only heard, whispered about. And they look at you the way a jeweler looks at a stone he is considering buying. You take an oath. You hold a burning piece of paper between your fingers and swear on your blood and your family and your silence. The paper burns down to nothing. They tell you that you die the way you came in, as nothing if you ever break what you just swore. Welcome to the family. You are now a Paciotto. Ah, little man, the lowest of the maid. The rank itself barely changes your daily life. Except in one enormous way. You now exist. In the criminal world, existence is protection. No one can touch you without consequences. Before, any whiz guy with a grudge could slap you around and no one would care. Now, to lay a hand on you is to declare war on a family, which means even men twice your size will look at you differently on the street. That respect costs nothing but means everything. You feel it in the way doormen step aside, in the way conversations stop when you enter a room, in the weight of the pistol you now carry, not for show, but because you are expected to use it if asked. You get assigned to a crew. Your capodestina, your crew leader, gives you jobs, real jobs, not errands, but actual work for the family. Loan sharking. Small-scale extortion, watching over a gambling den. The money is better now, and a percentage goes up the ladder, always up, because that is how the machine breathes. You are still near the bottom, but you are inside the machine now, and inside is everything. A soldato, a full soldier, is what you become when your crew captain and the men above him decide you have proven yourself completely. Some men wait years. Some never get there. The process is not announced or scheduled. One day you are told, you are a made man, a uomo d'onor, a man of honor, a man of honor. In the world you inhabit, that phrase carries more weight than any government title. A made man is untouchable by decree. To kill one without permission from the boss is a death sentence for the killer. Period. No exceptions, no appeals. Your life now has a structure that looks almost ordinary from the outside. You wake up. You have coffee. You go to your legitimate cover, a construction company, a restaurant, a car dealership, where you technically work and technically earn. Then you do the real work. You run your piece of the street. You collect what is owed. You report up. You keep your cut. The mathematics of this life are simple and brutal. Earn or disappear. A soldier who doesn't earn is a problem. A problem that gets solved. Eventually, if you are smart and lethal and loyal in exactly the right proportions, a capodecina slot opens up. A crew leader position. Someone retired, someone got arrested, someone got shot. In this world, those three things happen with remarkable regularity. You step in. Now you have men beneath you for the first time. A handful of soldiers and associates who look to you the same way you once looked upward. You run your crew like a small business, which is exactly what it is, except the HR policy is omerta, and a performance review is conducted at gunpoint. You take a cut from everything your men earn and pass the rest up the chain. You are still not powerful, but for the first time, you are someone. The difference between a capodecina and a capo is the difference between managing a corner store and owning a shopping district. A capo, a captain, a capo regime controls an entire regime. Multiple crews, dozens of men, multiple revenue streams running simultaneously. Gambling, extortion, union rackets, construction contracts, whatever the family controls in your territory. You don't swing punches anymore. You don't collect debts personally. You have men for all of that. What you do now is think and manage and protect your piece of the operation from the two forces that are always threatening to eat it. Law enforcement and other men exactly like you. Your mornings are spent in coffee shops and social clubs. Not because you are lazy, but because that is the office. That is where decisions get made, where grievances get aired, where deals get structured over espresso and handshakes. You are always visible to your men and always invisible to the outside world. You drive ordinary cars. You wear ordinary clothes. The flashy life is for movies and idiots who end up on the front page. The men who last longest in this world are the ones nobody can describe to a detective. You earn well now. Extremely well. Money moves up from your crews and a percentage comes back down to you. And you also take from every new business that gets brought under the family's umbrella in your territory. Construction company needs protection. They pay your regime. Restaurant doesn't want trouble. They pay. The percentage is never negotiated, only accepted because the alternative is understood without being spoken. You are not cruel about it. Cruelty is inefficient and draws attention, but you are completely inflexible. The machine requires feeding, and you are one of the valves. The danger at this level is different than it was at the bottom. As a soldier, you feared getting shot by a rival or arrested for something stupid. As a capo, you fear something slower and more sophisticated. Betrayal. One of your men talking to the FBI. A rival capo telling the underboss something untrue about your earnings. A miscommunication with another family's territory that turns into a shooting, that turns into a war that the commission did not sanction. At this level, mistakes are not just career-ending. They are life-ending. And the men who end your life will smile at your funeral. Above the captain sits the consigliere, the advisor, and this position is misunderstood by almost everyone outside the life. The consigliere holds no troops, commands no crew, runs no direct operation. What he holds is the ear of the boss and the trust of every rank beneath. He is the family's judge, strategist, and memory. When two captains have a dispute over territory or money, they do not go to war. They go to the consigliere. He listens to both sides with the carefully composed impartiality of a man who knows that taking sides carelessly gets people killed. Then he renders a decision, and the decision is followed because the alternative is chaos. And in this world, chaos is the one thing nobody profits from. The consigliere knows everything about the family's operations, but keeps his hands clean of the daily violence. He is the closest thing this world has to a statesman. He has seen bosses rise and fall, wars start and end, alliances form and dissolve. His value is institutional memory. When the boss needs to know what happened 20 years ago with a particular family. When the right precedent needs to be cited before a decision is made, the consigliere provides it. Men twice his size treat him with a deference that has nothing to do with fear and everything to do with genuine respect, which is far rarer in this world than people realize. The sottocapo, the underboss, is where the true daily power of the family concentrates. The boss sets direction, but the underboss executes it. He is the chief operating officer of a criminal enterprise, managing the captains, resolving their conflicts before they reach the boss, ensuring the tribute flows correctly up the hierarchy and the orders flow correctly down. He is the only man in the organization who can discipline a captain without consulting the boss first, which makes him the most actively feared person in the family's day-to-day life. Captains who might test the patience of a distant boss will never test the underboss who is watching them every single week. And then there is the Don, the boss, the capo familia, the man everyone else is working for without most of them ever being in the same room as him. At this level, you have moved so far beyond the street that the street seems like a story someone told you once. You do not collect. You do not threaten. You do not run operations. You make decisions. Who gets made, who gets promoted, who gets removed, which alliances to pursue, which wars to avoid, which politicians to own. Every dollar earned by every soldier in every crew in your family eventually traces a line back to you. You are the center of a web that you never appear to be touching. The life of a Don is one of extraordinary power and extraordinary isolation. You trust almost no one, because trust at this level is the mechanism by which men get killed. You are surrounded by protection and yet more vulnerable than anyone beneath you, because you are the target. The FBI does not care about soldiers. The FBI cares about you. Rival families do not bother with captains if they want to destroy a family. They come for you. The pressure of that knowledge shapes everything. Where you sleep, who you speak to, how you speak, what you are seen doing in public. Some bosses have lived to old age in this position. Most have not, but every single one of them, from the first day they were made to the last day they breathed, would tell you the same thing. They would not have chosen differently.